Again, everybody, it's Plowboy's Ghost Channel. I brought you back down here to our property where I do a lot of shooting. I do some shooting. And today we're going to do another water jug penetration test. Over here on the sacrificial 2x10, I've got 16 water jugs, 16 1-gallon water jugs set up. Today we're going to be looking at 45 Colt. And the main feature today is an Aria Ballistic Engineering 420 grain. They call it a plus P plus. They've got it listed at 1100 foot per second, and if it mattered to anyone in this world, 1128 foot-pounds of energy doesn't mean anything to me, but most importantly, TKO's on the end of it there of 29. Y'all, don't want to go into a long diatribe about why I don't put much faith in put much value in the energy figures. If you want somebody to expound a little bit upon it, look up Tim Sundle's Buffalo Bore channel. He'll go into it a little bit more, but he and I agree on that issue completely. So let me set this down and set this aside. They're in a tree for a minute. All right, I'm going to give y'all a little tip on something here too. Now, when you're dealing with a large frame Ruger, this is what this cartridge looks like. First of all, they're sending it with a nickel case, and it chambers just fine in this Blackhawk. Now, if y'all will remember, in my 245 Colt Blackhawks, which one of my boys got one of them now, I did some lapping of the chamber throats to get them up to 4525-ish. And when I did that, it made my 315 grain Lee bullet that I seat long, it made it chamber, whereas before you had to push it in there to chamber it. I have not tried these 420 grain in an unlapped or unreamed chamber, so I expect, based on what I was told, that they will work fine in it. This is for only large frame Rugers in 45 Colt, or of course anything in 454 Casull or 460 Smith & Wesson Magnum. It'll chamber this too. There may be something else. I know some lever action guns like the Rossi 92s and all the Winchester and Browning 92 clones. I know you can run this heavy and mean stuff in it too. I do not know if it chambers in a lever action. So your mileage may vary, go figure. One tip I want to give you, even though I am only, hopefully y'all can see that, I am only going to shoot one cartridge. You'll notice I've got every chamber full. There's a reason for that. In a Ruger, large frame Ruger, especially the 45 Colt, I don't know of any other that has the issue. If you do not have recessed chambers, you know, where your case heads sit flush with the back of the cylinder, then, well, if you don't keep it don't even have to be 6 full cartridges, but if you're shooting the heavy stuff, especially in these 4 5/8 guns, and it might be necessary in the 5.5, and I don't know about 7.5. I have seen this happen before, shooting some Buffalo Bore 325 grain in a Blackhawk I had years ago. If you don't keep every chamber full, then when you fire it, right here at the bottom, that case rim that's right there in front of where the loading gate opens will actually keep the loading gate from jumping off a little spring tip that keeps it retained. I have seen it happen. Personally, I've seen it happen twice. And that is the remedy on one of these that doesn't have recessed chambers, recessed case, you know, counter board, so you can, so that the case head sit flush with the back of the cylinder, is to keep 6 in it, even if it's empties. If you've only got one round of plus P, air quotes, because we know there's not a SAMI designation 45 Colt plus P, but of these heavy and hot tier 3, or tier 3, since not many people I know have a single action converted, you know, to a 5-shot that'll run the tier 4, tier whatever. But in these, just go ahead and even if you just load empty cases, you know, for just one shot, go ahead and do that. Reduces your chance, or eliminates the chance of the loading gate jumping off. Jeff Quinn talked about it in some of his videos, and I saw it before I knew what it meant. He was right on the money. that does happen, and it's kind of a pain. So anyway, let me change the camera angle, since I'm too cheap to buy enough cards for my other GoPros, other two. and change camera angles and get down here. Maybe I can shoot this straight through the jugs. I'll be within splash range, and let's see what happens. Hang on just a minute. Okay, y'all, let's see what happened here. I hate to admit it, but that was a take two, because when I shot one that I probably won't shoot. I might throw it in here too. And I do what I do. I pulled it off to the side and didn't kill but about 5 jugs, so I had to replace them. So let's go through and see what we got here. We had 16. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's in the 13th jug. 13, 14, 15. Wait a minute, I told y'all I had 16 jugs. Y'all, I'm doing this a lot lately. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's in the 14th jug. That's even more impressive. Y'all remember that the 293 grain 41 Magnum, which pretty good sectional density. Remember that sucker went through in 12 jugs. Let's look at what we got here. Get me and my shadow out of this. That is a gas checked 420 grain is what they call it on the box. And y'all, there ain't no deformation of the bullet whatsoever, other than for the rifling. I am impressed. 14 jugs laid waste. It sure enough does what Aria Ballistic Engineering says it'll do. That's a heck of a penetrator. 14 jugs on a handgun round, and y'all look, that's just listed. What did I tell y'all? 11 something foot per second. Hey, look at the box again. Don't want to tell you wrong. 1100 foot per second is what that's rated at. Now, for anyone who thinks that velocity figure, and I do not have my chronograph yet, I'm waiting on the Athlons to come in stock. I've been talking to them. When my chronograph comes in, we're going to verify, or we're going to see exactly what some of this ammo of mine and some of Aria Ballistic Engineering's run in actuality out of each gun. That's out of a 4 5/8 Blackhawk. And if you don't believe the 1100 foot per second, that's fine. But y'all, that, if it's not running that, or even if it is running that, that's telling me something right there. 14 jugs is pretty impressive, because I keep telling y'all that first of all, muzzle energy on these big cast bullets, it don't mean much of nothing to terminal efficiency. I don't believe it means anything much at all. I'm sure it's something, but it's not as much as everybody thinks it is. And another thing too, with big heavy cast bullets, I've been telling y'all, they don't have to be running full bore, full throttle Magnum velocities to do a lot of penetrating. This right here, if it's coming out of this 4 5/8 inch barrel at the rated velocity, 1100 whatever foot per second, then that's still very impressive. And that kind of backs up what I've been telling y'all. You don't have to have 1500 feet per second on a heavy cast bullet to do some penetrating. And that, you know, of course the first one was a goof. I had never shot this round before, and I admit I had a little bit of target panic. It happens when you're shooting big bore stuff. But you know, truthfully, this thing don't recoil that hard. It doesn't recoil near as hard as what I thought it was going to. But that second shot, it sailed on pretty good without much deviation at all until it came to rest inside the 14th jug. And y'all, I am impressed with that. I have a few more jugs but I don't have enough to put anything else I have with me to the test. I thought that I might put a, now let's leave it at that. Let's leave it at that. If I had brought more jugs, then I would compare it to something else, either my 315 grain hand load, or maybe even my standard pressure 45 Colt loaded. I don't think out of this barrel is probably moving 900 foot per second. I bet you that thing penetrates better than what y'all think it will too, but I don't believe it'll do 14 jugs. So y'all, there we go. We're piling up some jugs down here in Bell Green, Alabama. I appreciate y'all watching, and I am going to bring some more water jug destruction to y'all. Once again, let me say it, shooting water jugs has no determinative value in trying to figure out what a bullet will do against large game, or against any game for that matter. All this is, the only value this has is comparing one bullet to another in water jugs, one load to another in water jugs. That's it. This doesn't tell you what this bullet will do, or any other bullet will do, in an animal with various thicknesses of bone and densities of muscle tissue and amounts of fat and other liquids, make up its body, solids and liquids that make up its body. It will not tell you anything. All this will tell you is that it went through 14 water jugs, 14 1-gallon water jugs. So there you have it. It's not ultra scientific, but hopefully it's fun to watch, and I appreciate y'all watching. I will talk to y'all later. Oh, and P.S. y'all, I got ahead of myself and forgot to tell you that, or to show you that when I ejected the cases from those 2 shots, which, like I said, one of them was kind of a goof. When I ejected those cases, they were smooth. There was no evidence or hint of stickiness at all. So they're definitely not, and the primers don't look flattened at all, so they're not over pressure. I wouldn't hesitate to shoot that 420 grain bullet from Aria Ballistic Engineering, that load. I wouldn't hesitate to shoot it in any large frame Ruger, or in any 454 Casull or 460 Smith & Wesson chambered firearm. So anyway, now we're caught up. Talk to y'all later.